And our Minister for ICT and National Guidance, Dr. Kizza Besigye, has revealed that the use of ICT services is at an average rate of 14.8% for the last 5 years, despite COVID-19 challenges. Dr. Besigye says this is good news for electronic governance, business and employment, hence increasing revenue base. This was during the Manifesto Implementation Week at the Office of the Prime Minister in Kampala.
A team of top government officials from the Ministry of ICT and officials from its agencies, led by Minister Dr. Kizza Besigye, have highlighted the achievements and challenges of the ministry for the last 2 years. The minister says the use of ICT services has an average rate of 14.8% for the last 5 years, despite the COVID-19 challenges.
And ICT adoption remains critical in improving service delivery for citizens and businesses and to foster more productive, competitive economy and inclusive growth. It is also critical for creating wealth and enhancing financial inclusion. ICT services in Uganda continue to grow at an impressive average growth rate of 14.8% during the period 14-15, 19-20. In other words, as part of the background, we are indicating that the ICT sector is one of the fastest growing sectors in the country.
The minister further say the growth is a good indicator that government services are becoming online, increased online businesses contributing to the revenue collections.
The ICT sector revenue collections also increased by 19% to 2.245 trillion shillings in the financial year 2020-21, and this was up from 1.819 trillion in the financial year 19-20. So the revenue collections as a result of the ICT sector continued to increase when you compare those two financial years.
Government has reduced internet costs and is working on how to make mobile devices cheaper.
The key question which people ask us is when will internet become much more affordable? The cost now, today, the government internet service is at $70 per megabyte per second per month. And this is a drop from about 300 around 2016. It has dropped from $300 per megabyte per second to now 70. Starting next financial year, it will drop to 35. And next financial year is around the corner. It's just a few days from now, maybe a month and a few days. We are also working on the issue of bringing down the cost of smart devices, because one of the challenges we have as a sector now is that smartphones, laptops, iPads, tablets are still expensive.
During the Manifesto Implementation Week at the Office of the Prime Minister, the minister was in company of the officials from the line agencies, including UBC, UCC, Uganda Post Limited, Uganda Media Council, Uganda Media Center, Uganda Institute of Communications Technology, Uganda Telecommunications Corporation Limited, and New Vision. Lydia Chomkama, Philip Aguta, UBC News.
Now, the first batch of pilgrims has arrived at Namugongo Catholic Shrine just 10 days ahead of the annual 3rd June Martyrs' Day celebrations. They arrived at 7 p.m. and were welcomed by the head of tours for pilgrims at the Catholic Shrine, Ben Tengwa.
Every 3rd of June, Christians trek to commemorate the martyrdom of Uganda martyrs at Namugongo. At least 45 pages, 22 Catholics and 23 Protestants were murdered on orders of Kabaka Mwanga Basamulekere between 1885 and 1886. The first group of pilgrims has arrived from Bushenyi and were walking, chanting songs of praise to the Almighty God.
We are marching, we are marching, we are marching in the light of God.
The pilgrims told UBC that their journey began on the 12th of May and have spent 10 days on the way. Among the pilgrims is a 70-year-old and says the journey was a good experience. Preparations for 3rd June have already started, and this year they expect more than 2 million pilgrims. Besides, traders are also preparing their stalls with hope of making money. Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
Police has launched investigations into the alleged increasing threat projected to legislators by the purported Disgruntled Security Officers Association. This follows an escalating gun violence by men in uniform.
Members of Parliament have reported to the police after receiving leaflets threatening their lives for neglecting living conditions of security officers.
They have threatened Parliament and other lawmakers to either handle their matters. The matters which they are talking about is recognize their service by improving their working environment, welfare, and increase their pay. And they warned that failure to do so, that if the lawmakers fail to handle their matters, they will stop leaving.
Police have established an emerging association purported to be for the disgruntled officers. These are pushing the legislators to revise policies concerning their standards of living.
We'd like to warn the alleged disgruntled officers who could be behind these anonymous threats that it is an offense to threaten lawmakers, and all the joint security agencies have administrative protocols of addressing concerns.
These developments have come amidst the widespread gun violence by the men in uniform, which has claimed lives of many. Meanwhile, police have directed territorial commanders to have special arrangements for Namugongo pilgrims.
But we've asked the territorial commanders to ensure that they are given close protection throughout their movement. We have pilgrims who have started moving from Kanungu, Lira. We have the ones from Gulu. All these are being protected.
Police calls for the public vigilance at the eve of schools reopening. Last week, police rescued 25 children in Wakiso and Barara from traffickers. Komagom Rogers and Abdul Nasim Lubwama, UBC News.
Now, Nagai Natasha, a student at the university who was mistakenly shot after being confused with a burglar, is now out of danger and under observation at Mulago Hospital. New findings from the police indicate that a border rider who transported Natasha to the residence provided misleading information, resulting in her ending up at the wrong house. This unfortunate incident happened in Mukono. Ivan Kawa reports.
Police have revealed that Nagai Natasha, a student at Uganda Christian University, was shot after being mistaken for a burglar due to misleading information from a border rider who took her to the wrong house.
Who claimed that, no, where you're going, I know the place, and took her up to this estate. And that is where I said, no, that is the house of Ashraf, so you open.
Natasha, accompanied by her friends, was given a key by Bandishe Ashraf, a former schoolmate, to stay at his place after a party. Initially, it was believed that Ashraf was Natasha's boyfriend. However, it has turned out that the rooms of Bandishe and the police officer who shot Natasha are opposite each other.
Then also the owners of the estate, why don't you get watchmen and watch people to look after you so that it is easy to even guide people? We need to take lessons out of such incidents. And even our young girls and daughters in university, staying out at night very late is very risky.
Fortunately, Natasha's condition is stable and she has been transferred from Kaolo Hospital to Mulago for further treatment,
where there is a chance that she will be discharged today.
This incident adds to the concern over gun mismanagement, as it is one of the several shooting incidents that have occurred recently. The police pledges to address recurrent gun violence.
That we have the right policies, intelligence, detection and enforcement. Gun violence had really reduced in the past until of recent, due to the intensive policing and stricter gun policy that we had. And however, this slight increase in these reckless types of shootings over petty conflicts and disputes shows that people are getting desperate. During the past week, 3 shooting incidents were registered, including 2 cases in Tororo and Mbarara, where 2 individuals were killed. In Mbarara, our officer, Police Constable Pio Charles, shot dead Lance Corporal Turiam Reva Yeremia, a UPDF officer attached to Ruhenjere Engineering Brigade in Chiruhura, over a woman, you can imagine. In Tororo, a Saracen guard called Okedi Moses, 35, picked a gun and shot dead his colleague Okedi Moses, aged 30, over failure to return a SIM card and a Saracen Staff Circle membership card.
The other incident in Mukono involved a mistaken identity. Ivan Kahwa, UBC News in Kampala.
Meanwhile, FDC has unveiled a roadmap for 2023 structure formation to prepare the party for national elections. The head of FDC Electoral Commission, Boniface Bamwenda, also unveiled the party's candidates to contest the position of Chairperson LC5 and Sub-County Councillor LC5 in Bukedea District.
Forum for Democratic Change Party is to embark on an exercise to implement their election roadmap as resolved by the Executive Committee. This is being done through electing leaders starting from village to district level to have 26 leaders from each village, parish, sub-county and constituency. The party will have created new mandates and leaders through identifying people to oversee elections at the grassroots.
From the 2nd of October to the 6th of October will be the return of nomination forms. This now includes the President, Secretary General, National Chairman, Publicity, Mobilization and Organization. From the 23rd of November to the 24th of November, it will be the National Delegates Conference to elect new NEC leaders. From the 4th of December to the 5th of December, this will be now the Youth National Conference to elect the National Youth League and Women National Conference to elect the Women's League.
The party has also announced that it will actively participate in the upcoming elections in Bukedea District and Oyam North. The chieftaincy of FDC Electoral Commission, Boniface Toterebukabamwenda, has unveiled the candidates to represent the party in Bukedea elections.
We're pleased to announce Mr. Oita Sam Odeke as our LC5 district chairperson candidate for Bukedea District, and Mr. William Okia, Bukedea sub-county by election. Both candidates are proven politicians who have gone through the FDC Leadership Training Academy and are committed members of the party who never give up.
The National Executive Committee of FDC instructed the Secretary General to write to the Inspector General of Police, informing him about their exercise.
Don't expect any nonsense from RDCs and security officials on the ground. Whoever tried to distract us in this exercise, we meet it with the whole force of FDC. This is a national exercise where we don't need any interference.
I'm Nafka Farida in Kampala.
And the National Unity Platform Party President Robert Kyagulanyi has called for unity, regardless of political differences, as an avenue for creating a strong political force. Kyagulanyi was speaking at the first National Youth Convention on the theme, Awakening the Engines of Change.
The political momentum is not ready to take leave as the leading opposition political party, National Unity Platform, held its first National Youth Convention. In a gathering at their newly acquired headquarters, National Unity Platform Party President Robert Kyagulanyi hailed the youth and called for discipline.
Look for all people with similar thoughts and unite with them. You cannot do this alone. You cannot clap with one hand. We must unite. No struggle has ever succeeded without discipline. If we don't have discipline, we'll take 2 steps forward and 3 steps behind. Is that what we want?
The conference attracted NUP leaders, supporters and well-wishers across the country.
Let's eliminate fear. Let's remain united. Let's remain focused. Young people, do you hear me? Let's remain focused on what it is that we want.
Joshua Kagor, UBC News.
Now, former FDC President Dr. Kizza Besigye accuses police officers led by the late IGP Andrew Felix Kaweesi of violating his rights and torturing him during the 2016 general elections before the Uganda Human Rights Commission Tribunal. Dr. Besigye, who alleges illegal arrests and detention without charge, wants compensation and those responsible held accountable.
The former FDC president, retired Colonel Dr. Kizza Besigye, lodged a complaint with the Uganda Human Rights Commission Tribunal over alleged violation of rights and torture by police officers following the 2016 general elections. While presenting his defense before the tribunal, Dr. Kizza Besigye alleged that under the leadership of the late AIGP Andrew Felix Kaweesi during the general elections of 2016, police officers arrested him from the party headquarters in Najana and Kombi, and he was taken to Nagarama police station.
I have told you from the time I came from Nagarama, the whole place was surrounded. So they were there all the time. So anyhow, as I have said, then my home was completely barricaded. And so people were not allowed to visit, to come into my home or to get out.
Dr. Kizza Besigye says, although on several occasions they were arrested with other party members, retired General Mugisha Muntu and Ingrid Tulinawe by police officers, they weren't charged.
Treatment I face has not changed since then. Even now, I have several cases in court. I was in court even last week for inciting violence. My vehicle has been detained for the last 1 year as an exhibit for inciting violence. I don't know how a vehicle can incite anybody.
Dr. Kizza Besigye, who also claims to be charged with several offences, including treason and unlawful possession of ammunition, has never been prosecuted.
All the charges that have been put against me, none of them, not one, have I ever had to defend myself. They have all been dismissed or withdrawn.
Dr. Kizza Besigye presented witnesses retired General Mugisha Muntu, the former FDC party president, and Ingrid Tulinawe, FDC former national secretary and mobilizer.
When we were in the meeting in the boardroom, we started hearing commotion outside, including some shootings.
It's one thing when police comes and indicates what their intention is. It is another when they come and using more or less terror. You know, they are not explaining anything to anybody. They are banging on doors. Actually, they were going to break down the door.
Dr. Kizza Besigye now wants the tribunal to order compensation and hold the perpetrators accountable
for the kind of torture and suffering, loss of working, all that time when I cannot leave my house. I have no way fending for myself and my dear ones.
The Attorney General's office was represented by Richard Adore.
Are we just going to punish the entire police because Dr. Besigye is just not happy with their conduct? Who are these people? Who are these people?
But I'm sure on that day, the persons deployed with him will be recorded. But certainly the commanders of these operations are former officers of government and can be established.
Dr. Kizza Besigye also claims delay to hear his case he filed in 2016. Deborah Namamonde, Nantongo Rebecca, UBC News.
Judiciary Driver Stanley Kisambira has been charged and remanded to Luzira Government Prison on charges of hate speech. Kisambira appeared before Grade 1 Magistrate Fidelis Otwao and was charged under the Computer Misuse Act following an audio clip which was circulating on social media of a remuneration as a driver attached to the judiciary.
In the charge sheet, prosecution alleges that on 12th May 2023, within Uganda, Stanley Kisambira, through a computer, shared a recorded audio on the Judiciary Transport WhatsApp group. The information, which was likely to promote hostility against judges in the judiciary. Prosecution says Kisambira reportedly indicated that the judges' salaries far better than the judiciary drivers. Stanley Kisambira pleaded not guilty to all the alleged offences. Kisambira's lawyer Stanley Okecho and Derek Bazeketa, who reached Magistrate Otowo's chambers when he was concluding the case, weren't allowed to apply for Kisambira bail.
The judiciary has to exercise powers in accordance with the names of in the name of the people. It is very irregular for what they have done. It points a picture that they are under the control of someone else, whom we don't want to name at this stage, but we shall be able to handle and take him on in any case.
In the Magistrate Otowo's chambers, media was not allowed. Stanley Kisambira was remanded to Luzira Government Prison until 2nd June 2023, when he will appear before the trial magistrate Asmani Muhumuza.
Really, there are no charges, basically. We don't get a feel of there is any genuineness in the prosecution. It's a tool meant to punish and to silence voices. So when we stand to defend Mr. Kisambira, we're not defending him as an individual. We are defending and standing for human rights, the right to freedom of expression, the right to treat other people justly and fairly. That is what we stand for, and that is what this whole trial is going to be about.
Trouble for Stanley Kisambira started last week when he recorded a clip that went viral on social media, claiming little of 200,000 shillings since 2008. As a driver working with Judiciary, Stanley Kisambira was a driver to Mbale High Court Judge Godfrey Namundi. Following his statements, Permanent Secretary to the Judiciary Dr. Kizza Besigye wrote to him asking for reasons why his works at the Judiciary can't be terminated. Besigye also accused the Chisambira for failure to use the right means to address his concerns. Deborah Namamonde, UBC News.
Government is making significant strides in tackling aflatoxin-related problems in farming. A new aflatoxin control facility is set to open in Nakasasa, located in the Mubende district. This facility aims to produce more powerful solution in eradicating the toxin and its detrimental effects on agricultural crops.
The establishment of an aflatoxin control facility is a milestone in Uganda's policy to combat aflatoxins and enhance agricultural productivity.
The facility is functional. Uganda will save an estimated United States dollars 38 million lost annually in export opportunities lost due to aflatoxin. This also greatly impact on the economy in terms of prevention of diseases in human beings, mainly cancer, and increasing the production of quality milk and eggs.
This facility will be equipped with state-of-the-art technology and experts who will ensure production meets quality and efficiency.
Aflatoxin in cereals, which has become a threat to food safety and trade in the region. The facility will have production line with the capacity to produce 5 tons of aflasafe per hour.
This center will eradicate aflatoxins in crops and stimulate market for agricultural produce.
Our average level of aflatoxins in our grain mainly is over 28%, parts per billion. But what is recommended in the EU market is between 0 to 20 parts per billion. So the aflasafe facility will enable us produce aflasafe that will reduce that contamination level by aflatoxins, say almost to 4 parts per billion.
Through this facility, government investment ensures a competitive edge for local farmers, as it offers a high-quality, aflatoxin-free produce for consumers.
Talk with freedom. Get MTN Freedom voice bundles that don't expire. Dial *100 *21 hash or my MTN app for more bundles. Together, we're unstoppable.
This isn't just a girl. She is the future. This is a teacher, a doctor, a community leader, our future president.
She is our family's pride, and as her father, I will protect her from child marriage and talk to her about the dangers of teenage pregnancy. We each have a role to play in empowering our teenage girls to protect them from child marriage and pregnancy, because when we empower them, we empower our nation. Protect the girl, save the nation.
Take action. Report any case of defilement or child marriage to the police or call Sauti 116.
This is the University of Africa. On the streets, you get your real education. Here, everybody has a degree of something. But the most important qualification is imagination. Her reason to imagine is slay. His reason is to be the GOAT. Theirs is to take the beat and make it lit. They want to test edgy until it is fire. Their reason for imagination is to add riz in style. Her reason to imagine is finesse. And hers is to find what's new and bussin'. So no matter what your situation, just use your imagination.
Where does it come from? That thing that makes us Ugandan, that thing that makes us different from everybody else. Where does it grow infinitely? Some say it's in our history, in our culture, and in our hearts, in our warm smiles and vast miles of coffee, dairy farmland, and amazing maize fields. It's in our inherent pursuit to always be better, to never stop growing and glowing. So you see, we are more than just a waving flag. We are a nation of sweat and skills, a nation of ideas and inventions. But what truly makes us Ugandan is our quest to improve the quality of life for Ugandans by creating sustainable jobs, businesses, and improving household incomes. That's what makes us Uganda Development Bank.
Uganda Development Bank, inspiring development.
Did you know that you can safely and conveniently make your school fees payments anytime, any school, anywhere using Airtel Money? Oh yes! Simply pick up your phone and dial *185#. Select option 6, school fees. Choose between school pay, peg pay, or sure pay. Enter student number. Enter amount, confirm name and transaction. Enter Airtel Money PIN. A confirmation message will be sent to you upon a successful transaction. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
Uganda is rich in natural resources and hard-working people. But to turn these resources into real progress and development, we need to invest in our infrastructure, education, and health care. That's where taxes come in. When we pay our taxes, we are investing in our country's future. We are supporting the schools that educate our children, the hospitals that care for our families, and the roads and bridges that connect our communities. And when businesses pay their taxes, they are contributing to the growth and development of Uganda's economy. They are helping to build a stronger, more prosperous nation for us all. So when you pay your taxes, you are investing in the future of Uganda and supporting the progress and development of our nation. Uganda is because of you.
Uganda Revenue Authority, developing Uganda together.
Welcome back. You are still watching News Tonight. Youth have been asked to participate in the civilization of economies and to embrace technology to end poverty. Brigadier General Felix Kulayigye told the Inter-University Pan-African Symposium at Chambago University by Pan-African Federalist Movement that youth are the backbone of economies.
The Inter-University Pan-Africanism Symposium by Renaissance for Pan-African Unity has attracted students from 14 universities and ambassadors from the African continent. Uganda People's Defence Forces spokesperson Brigadier General Felix Kulayigye says Pan-Africanism is intended to emancipate the African continent.
That Pan-Africanism is not a mere dream, it's a reality that's intended to see the emancipation of the African people. And so we think students should know about the African Liberation Day, Pan-Africanism, and their role in realizing an emancipated African population.
The National Coordinator Pan-African Federalist Movement, Dr. Mugabe Rubahamya, says the symposium is discussing the role of intellectualism.
The Pan-African Federalist Movement has developed a robust campaign machine where we are recruiting young individuals and train them and prepare them to carry the message to the masses. And that is one way. The other way is we have meetings, mostly virtual meetings. We interact on social media through Zoom and Skype, using modern methods of communication to advance and to spread the message and the intent and the mission of the organization.
Brenda Agoro says youth must be sensitized about the beauty of Pan-Africanism, be independent and liberate themselves from mental slavery.
Ideally, we think most of the youth out there have not adapted to the culture of Pan-Africanism. They take it as an old style thing, and yet it's not the reality. Pan-Africanism is modern in a way that when we embrace it, we get to understand what Africa is all about, and we don't feel like Africa is barbaric. Africa is a black continent which is rich.
The Director of Research, Chambogo University, Professor Bosco Bois, called for more funding on research and community engagement on Pan-Africanism.
We should be proud as intellectuals to be going back to give back at the different levels of communities come from. Sometimes it is not easy, but I think there's a saying that together.
Pan-African Federalist Movement is a grassroots coalition organization with a mission of unification of Africa and the fight of African sovereignty.
What I expect from this conference is to enhance and make the spirit of Pan-Africanism very strong and spread the gospel of Pan-Africanism in all our universities.
Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
And the third Deputy Prime Minister, Rukia Nakadama, has urged graduates to adopt the Parish Development Model government program to get a fast start to employment. She was the chief guest at the graduation ceremony, a third graduation ceremony of the Islamic University College, Old Kampala.
The Mufti of Uganda, Sheikh Shaban Ramadan Mubaje, has commended the three leaders who have worked for the development of the Islamic University College of the Uganda Muslim Supreme Council. Mufti Mubaje hailed the personalities for contributing towards the university.
That this university is a realization of the dream of the three African great leaders. One was the late Idi Amin Dada, may Allah be pleased with his soul, the one who donated this piece of land where we are sitting today, when he was a president, that let there be this be the head or the seat of the Muslims in Uganda. Second was the late Colonel Muammar Gaddafi, who ordered the World Islamic Society to implement the construction of this mega project we are seeing today. It is against this background that the project of the Islamic University College materialized. It has continued to move our society intellectually. It is against this background that the President laid a foundation stone of the main administrative block in the year 2017 here. I'm very grateful to His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda.
The third Deputy Prime Minister, Rukia Isanga Nakadama, who was the chief guest, urged the graduates to adopt government programs like the Parish Development Model.
Through the Parish Development Model, we are going to move the 3.5 million households that are still in subsistence farming to money economy. We expect you, the graduates of today, to be the managers of this transformation. The government of Uganda has identified 4 sectors for jobs and wealth creation, and these ones include commercial agriculture, industrialization, modern services, and information and technology. All these sectors have potential jobs for you. Kindly position yourself and contribute to the development of your country.
Amina Zawede, the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of ICT, wants graduates to close the skills gap needed on the labor market.
Science and technology, humanities and social sciences, as well as education, are fundamental in addressing the skills gaps that are required in today's job ecosystem. The graduates have or know best the challenges that we are facing as a country, a region, and the continent, and therefore will be the best people to provide these solutions for us as opposed to us getting them from elsewhere where the communities don't understand our challenges.
At least 232 students were graduated, of whom 135 were male and 97 female. Story compiled by Jamil Sekaja for UBC News.
Jerry con. Jerry con. Hey, Master Blaster. Touch him, man. Bang Jerry con with muscle. Those ones who say go for you only. Mundawa. First group is I teach you. When I go to the Muscari, because of the cover is very far. Is you serious? Is yes you? What? Yeah? You step it on it. Add kilometers to your legs and you get your sugar. We buy meat from Umaru and Umaru refuse to give you enough meat. Show him that they don't joke with you.
Okukakaluka n'okulungi kwetaagako omuntu akuyambako, n'olwekyo tujja kukuteerawo embeera esaanidde osobole okukola ekisinga awamu teri kitulema.
The Magical Egypt Tour 2023 is here. A heavenly miracle waiting across the natural and divine attractions of Egypt, such as Cairo, Giza Pyramids, Saqqara, Memphis, and many more that will offer the gift of a lifetime. The chance to unlock all of the hidden powers of mind and soul, gain the enlightenment of the past and the future, and develop the power of healing. Departure will be Friday 16th up to 23rd June 2023. Basic package starting at $1,200, 8 days and 7 nights. To register, come to Gotove Tours and Travel at Nalkwego Complex Suta, UG's Extender, George Street, Nakasero, or call +256 758 530 059 or +256 784 568 392 or WhatsApp +256 782 556 078. Only few slots are left. Powered by UBC Television.
naye ddala oyagala kuba akinga okuze
kuvuga ennyonyi
okakasa gwe Kayongo ovuga ennyonyi
usemesa kuvuga ennyonyi.
Uganda Aviation Expo 2023 mwoleso gwa nnyonyi nga guli ku kisaawe Entebbe. Leeta abaana balabe bayige ku misomo gy'ebyennyonyi. Naawe omusuubuzi omutambuze oba oyagala okulambula Uganda jangu okuyingira shinja $5,000 ennyonyi ya $2,000 ate mu abagala VIP $30,000. Baasi zino zidaboddeeka zakubanona ku City Square Ebusega ku Express Highway ne Nambole obutasukka ssaawa 7 otambulira bwereere. Amasomero agayigiriza abaana ebyennyonyi muleete abayizi mu Uganda Aviation Expo 2023 wali Entebbe ku kisaawe okuva nga 22 paka nga 24 June.
And in business news, last week government released the budget estimates for the financial year 2023-24. The budget projected 52.74 trillion shillings. URA must collect 29.3 trillion from 25.5 trillion. URA Assistant Commissioner Public and Corp Affairs Ibrahim Bosas gives an insight into this development.
The increased revenue target follows tough economic times, which has constrained the economy. The question remains, is the task ahead attainable for the government's Revenue Mobilization Agency? Ibrahim Bosa is the Assistant Commissioner, Public and Corporate Affairs, Uganda Revenue Authority.
We believe that the strategies we have put in place and the measures we have put in place will enable us to do so, especially given where we're coming from. We have put measures that have taken us through a pandemic and the post-pandemic, and we have still collected more revenue than we have collected before, in spite of the challenges, in spite of inflation, in spite of the effects of COVID-19, in spite of the Russia-Ukraine war. We have been able to maintain steady growth in terms of revenue mobilization.
According to the taxman, meeting the 2022-2023 financial year targets has been a bit tricky.
Targets have been a little tricky. I think as we are moving into the final phase of this financial year, we are looking for 4.4 trillion in the next 38 days. We still are very optimistic that this target can be achieved, especially given the fact that the areas we are prioritizing areas that we expect to do us good as a country.
Despite government not introducing new taxes, in the last 2 financial years, experts have raised concerns on high taxation, which they argue impedes government poverty alleviation campaign.
When I go to buy apples in a grocery store, I pay 18% VAT. When I make a transfer to my mobile wallet, I pay a direct tax. So literally about 65% of my earning is just in there. So there is nothing left to save.
Uganda Revenue Authority argues that there is some merit in this kind of submission and goes ahead to offer an explanation on the current tax situation.
We still have over about 55% of our economy informal. These are people who are not registered anywhere, people who you cannot identify anywhere, but actually have an income in a way. The question is, are they paying a fair share of taxes, or is it those who are registered facing a burden to support the entire country? These are discussions we can always have.
Uganda's 2023-2024 national budget is on the theme full monetization of the economy through commercial agriculture, industrialization, expanding and broadening services, digital transformation and market access. Dennis Igoa for UBC News.
Tea growers and producers want government to intervene in the escalating price fluctuations on tea on the international market, which they say is causing them numerous losses. This was during the commemoration of the International Tea Day in Kampala.
Tea growers and producers want government to regulate tea prices on the market. At least 45 companies are producing processed tea leaves in Uganda, but there are unstable prices offered during export.
We have been suffering a tea sector affected badly due to economic crisis in the whole world, the fluctuation in dollar and other currencies, and mostly all Uganda teas goes to Mombasa for auction, and in auction are costing maybe around 1.7 approximately. But what we get is around 1.2, 1.3. So we need some sector from the government side to come and support Uganda tea manufacturing units.
Tea was first introduced in Uganda in 1900 and was adopted in 1980. The director of Renzori Commodities, Rajiv Kamal, says Uganda's tea sector will open up opportunities for the youth.
Like he said, from the ground up, the root of the tree, the beginning of the process, there are a lot of opportunities there. From then on, we go to the factory. The factory has machinery. It requires people to operate said machinery. That requires people, jobs and employment. From there, you move on to specific things like logistics, and then through the tea auction, that one whole process, transport and then facilitation, it offers 100 different opportunities for employment as well.
This is from
Tea has health benefits to the body, including regulating body size.
Tea is having so many ingredients which are actually good to reduce the diabetes, even the chances of stroke, stress, and it also boosts up the aging, slow down the process of aging, and it is having lots of benefits. So what we decided that this is also one of the compulsory part of hospitality. Wherever you go, the hospitality starts from our house itself. It is very important for all the youth today that when they are learning hospitality, then one of the undetachable part, that is the serving tea.
Ugandan youth are very expert in hospitality. Unfortunately, they were not skilled. So if they are skilled, there is plenty of job opportunity for them. And after doing this Bachelor of Hotel Management degree, they will be picked up by any hotel industries here and abroad.
Tea is Uganda's key export, accounting for 2.8% of Uganda's total exports. This holds the country's economy. Mary Namkose, Irene Faith Nantongo, UBC News.
State Minister for Electricity Okasai has issued a strong warning to different individuals over electricity infrastructure vandalism and in the country. That's State Minister for Energy. He was speaking during the commissioning of 2 electricity power lines in the district of Chiboga.
Government reviewed the law on electricity, where tampering with electricity infrastructure is an offense of terrorism and attracts a fine of 1 billion shillings or imprisonment for 15 years. State Minister for Electricity Oprot Okasai says government is ensuring quality and clean energy for the country. While commissioning 2 power lines in Wabitosi village in Nkandwa sub-county and Nakasengere village in Nakasozi sub-county in Chiboga district, Minister warned against vandalism.
Generating income for creating wealth at that level. Use this power to light your houses, use it for making sure your children study and pass. We want to see better healthy people in the rural areas, and we also want to see industries coming up in rural areas. That's the reason we are bringing electricity to the rural communities for a transformation.
Chiboga RDC Mariam Narubega says the electricity is an opportunity for district towards industrialization.
Breaking of laws, we've had people breaking into people's houses, we've seen people doing mob justice, killing, but now that we have security lights, we have electricity, we are going to curb crime in this area of Wabitosi and the entire Nkandwa sub-county. I want to therefore thank the President of Uganda, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, and our Minister of Energy, Honorable Ruth Nankabirwa, for bringing development, for bringing electricity to Wabitosi, for lighting up these rural areas.
The area member of Parliament, Chiboga West Mutumba Abudu, commended the government for taking power to rural areas.
Form the communities in this area. I know as we talk today, quite a number of businessmen who have been dealing in produce here are already looking forward to starting maize mills, coffee processing mills, and the rest of those other things. Women here have been, running their saloons using local, power and what have you. But this time round, having gotten electricity here, I know it is going to be a very important milestone in as far as transforming the society here is concerned.
The Rural Electricity Project is a partnership of Uganda government and Exim Bank. The project is implemented in 91 districts. Robert Katamba, UBC News.
And the Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Norbert Mao, has asked youth to be creative and come up with ideas which will sustain them after school. Mao was speaking to youth being equipped with skills to face the world.
Young people often encounter hardships as they transit from school and higher institutions of learning. This happens due to lack of proper orientation and career development for the young people on what skills to apply to fit in the various job markets. The Forum for African Women Educationists, FAWE, is equipping young people with skills to fit in the competitive world.
I have to go and market myself and give something to the world, because at least now I know who I am and I know what I can improve to make sure that I have something very special. I have a brand, that I am a good, that when I move outside there, I am something they are looking at as a hot cake.
The Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Norbert Mao, implored the graduates to lay strategies in order to succeed.
And I'm sure by now you know those who are going to drown. I'm sure you now know those who are not even going to get into the river to try and cross it. It is a competitive world which is not going to be merciful. You are playing against life, and life looks you straight in the eye. Just if you are still settling down, it throws the joker at you, throws the big two, throws the three. Your program is known as MasterCard. What is your MasterCard? Your unique skill. What is your MasterCard?
The Executive Director FAWE, Susan Opok Tomosime, urges school heads to include such orientations in schools so that graduates can leave school ready to start work.
You know, to face the challenges that come with the completion of education. So the issue is how can we prepare them in terms of perspectives, in terms of outlook, in terms of values, in terms of what they need to do and how they need to do when they're out there so that they can succeed.
Woman Member of Parliament, Bokwa District Evelyn Chemtai, urged graduates to apply the knowledge and come up with business ideas for employment.
I believe this orientation that has taken place the whole week is going to help the students in a way of, first of all, apart from classwork, they've been brought out and being given knowledge that is not about the class. You've seen what they've just been doing about business, about meeting other people and how they can write application letters for their jobs and how to conduct interviews.
Mary Namkose, UBC News.
This is a quick call. I'm almost out of minutes.
Why rush through such important conversations? Airtel Uganda has made it possible for you to call across all networks in Uganda at the best rates with the new Bona voice bundles. Stay connected anytime, anywhere, with minutes valid for calls on all networks. Dial *100*1#. Select voice bundles and select Bona voice bundles today.
Airtel, a reason to imagine.
And our sports, Marvin Chibidige, Vincent Katusi and Anne Abeja emerged overall winners of the Absa Bank Captain's Bell Tournament that climaxed on the 20th of May at Uganda Golf Club in Kampala. The annual event that is used to usher in a new club captain was graced by over 200 participants spread in the amateur and professional categories.
Marvin Chibidige scored a 6 under par 138 to claim the 2023 professional championship of the Absa Bank Captain's Bell Tournament that climaxed on Saturday, 20th May 2023 at the Uganda Golf Club in Kampala. Former lady captain of the Uganda Golf Club, Anne Abeja, shot a net score of 69 to top the ladies amateur category, as Vincent Katusi posted a net score of 66 to win the men's amateur category. The event that attracted over 200 participants had notable players like Slivia Beridi, Annette Chichoncho, David Moraith, Caroline Namutebi, among others.
It's a competitive tournament, so I am improving on my game. If I play tournaments like this one, then my game is improving. So it's important for me because if I play well, I'll take home something. I'm a social golfer, but definitely yes, if I play well, it really helps to bring down my handicap and also to improve my game as I go along.
2023 Captain's Bell Tournament ushered in the 2023-2024 Uganda Golf Club Committee that is led by Emmanuel Wamala and his vice captain Paul Nwagaba, who have been re-elected to lead the committee for a second term. The official sponsors of the tournament, Absa Bank Uganda, increased their sponsorship to 133 million for this year and extended their partnership to another 3 years.
We are demonstrating our belief in this club, Uganda Golf Club, and the beautiful game of golf. This increase in sponsorship is testament to our new group purpose that is defined as empowering Africa's tomorrow together, one story at a time. And the game of golf is part of that story that we are creating as an institution. As we continue to collectively be a part of the evolution of the game of golf in Uganda, I appreciate each and every one of the over 200 golfers that turned up to be part of the Captain's Bell tournament today.
The Uganda Golf Club Captain's Belt has acted as a setup for the Uganda Golf Open that will happen later this year to celebrate 115 years of the club's existence. Grace Joyce Kemgisa, UBC News.
Well, that does it for news tonight. Thank you for sticking with us. I am Rhoda Ngonzi. Have yourselves a lovely night.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.